we go. I think I'm live. I'm going to find out in a minute. Oh, it says I'm live. Cool. Welcome to a 5-minute late version of Vlog Thursday because I was having such a good meeting too. So let's jump into this. Hey, everyone. We got Cody here from Mac Telecom Networks. Hit the live button. Yes. Hit it. Yes, I did hit it. So we are now live. Greetings from the UK. Awesome. Been a long time since I catch one of these. Hey, awesome. And according to the YouTube stats page here, there's currently 57 of you. So that's awesome. I was on the phone, not a phone. I was on the phone. I wasn't really on the phone with them. I was talking to the people at Synology. And all the way from Sweden. Awesome. I was actually talking to the folks over at Synology and talking about new products they have coming out. And I partly titled this. It was actually coincidence. They wanted to talk. I said I had time today. And I'd also planned to do a live show about Synology today. I was just going to cover it because I've been doing some more Synology stuff that's at my house. Oh, and someone mentioned this, and I'll get this out of the way before we dive into some of the Synology things, because someone may ask about it. It's going to be, where do I post this? I can probably just share it. There we go. We'll pop this out. Close this. It's just in case it comes up during this show here. We'll go ahead and share the new update. Share screen, Chrome tab. There is an update coming out for this is going to targeted 12.0 U6. I don't really know why, but my NAS system does show that there's an update for TrueNAS. I had people messaged me, and I just wanted to bring up that, yes, there's an update. No, the release notes aren't available. And if you ever want to dig into, because this is the beauty of open source development, what's going on? Why is there an update? I don't see the release notes. Well, all this stuff kind of happens inside of Jira. So there's pretty basic things. It's just some kind of edge cases. CVE, SMB1 client connections can be downgraded to plain text. Hopefully you're not using SMB1, but there's a CVE in there. But there's a few patches that they're issuing in here. And there's a couple use after free if you're using this as a DC server. It's not likely you're using this as a DC server, but this is all stuff they're fixing in the 6.1. But if you go to the updates, it's not showing, but the systems themselves are showing that there's an update need for 6.1. So thought I'd bring it up. It's one of those little details. If you log into one, actually, I think let me see if the system shows an update or not. Log into this one. Got to put these pesky 2-factor codes in here. Okay, this one doesn't show an update, but my other one does. So, strangely enough, I don't know. I just something I thought I'd mention on there. I will, when there's a point release, I don't always do a video on it because it's usually just some minor detail. It's not even, I mean, they are patching something. I always say patch the security things. I'm not saying not to do it, but it's a minor update to Samba. It looks like what I'm seeing in the Jira tickets, unless there's something else in there for when it's update. But it's just, minor updates. Whenever you get the point release updates, it's a thinking. The other problem too, the moment they release the update, lots of people will start downloading and trying it. So the servers sometimes get a little bit slow. I try to download them as soon as they're out, but if they're not for some reason, I wait an extra day. I always test them, and if they're worthwhile, do a video on them. But hey, I thought I'd bring that up. I don't know if it's ever going to finish spinning. Let it keep going. But I've been busy doing a few things here, so let me talk about some of those things. Let's see. I can probably share this and this. It's always fun trying to figure out what you can share. Hello from the UK, DK, UK. Sam Sheridan, how's it going? New Jersey. DK. But I am working on the new studio. So the new studio, and let's see. Here's how we'll do this. We'll do it like this, like that. There we go. Then I'll just share screen. Entire screen, this screen. We get the recursion going. But I am in the midst of building a new studio. This is actually what it looks like right now. It's very roughed in. And a few people had asked me, if this was in my basement, and it is. This is the basement of my home. And I decided we're going to build the studio there for convenience. It's also going to allow me to do maybe more live streams or more late night stuff because I'll just be at home. So I can just like hit a button and go. And I want to do it that way because it's just, I've been wanting to have a space at home instead of just here at the office. So I'll be at the office part of the time, but I'm going to have my main studio and everything where I do my longer form recording undisrupted. I have a pretty big basement that I'm just not using. And I'm like, okay, well, let's start building in it. Let's first this is a small section. It's about a third of my basement. The other part we're going to make into storage. And then the other part we're going to make into like a game area, stuff like that. But the important part is I'll have a spot here that will be for my studio. And so, yeah, it's all taped off and everything. And of course, this is what it looks like when it's done. It's going to have this is wet, but once it dried, it looks pretty neat. It's going to be a textured wall look. Now there's going to be more stuff in front of the wall. So it also looks funny because of the lighting and my camera's trying to do this HDR thing to compensate for all the light. So it's done. It's going to be kind of this textured industrial look for the cement walls. I'm not actually covering up all the walls completely. I'm building a specialized ceiling thing with a bunch of lights in it and stuff like that. So I got a pretty cool plan of how I'm going to put it all together. It's slowly coming together, but I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks to get it finished. Maybe I'm going to guess it's going to take me realistically. I'd like to say it's going to take me 2 weeks to build. I know it's going to take me a little longer. There's a lot of detailed work that goes into it. And I'm doing the construction mostly myself, I should say. So yeah, there's that. So that's going to be fun. Now, will the studio have the famous Pittsburgh toilet? Yes. I plan to do that. My wife plans for me not to do that. It is plumbed. There is going to be a bathroom because all the plumbing's there. There's just no toilet, no bathroom there. But when they put in the basement to my house, all of that is finished and plumbed and everything else. So absolutely, hopefully, yeah. Still won't let that go. Nope, absolutely not. So, hey, all the way from Lansing. How's it going? Amsterdam. All right. And then we have hi from my office and swinging a hammer. All right. But yeah, it's been kind of cool. That's it's a work in progress overall too. Now, the other thing I can show you that I have revealed a little bit of. Let me see. Can I drag all this over here? Yes. This I can just drag over. So add back to stream. The kind of related is this right here is my, this is me cooking food. And this is me and Steve in the attic. I posted a couple of pictures. I did install in my attic. We wired it all. And people ask in that video when we do the wiring stuff, like how we got to the top of certain things. And this is how we got to that top. And yeah, it was just a lot of going in here, pulling down soffit, pushing it all back together, running wires. I have some video I took on this, so I'll cover this as a project, but this is one of the reasons I don't do residential. Residential is harder than commercial office. And one of the problems of being harder is it's more expensive. And so we charge a lot more for doing that type of work. And people go, it's that much to wire my house. I'm like, yeah, it's not. I mean, I have no problem if you're willing to pay the price, but yeah, this is just a lot more work to get in here and run everything. And I am almost done with my review on this because we were outside testing it. So I even have it plugged into this switch. Yes, when I do the Fluke review, it's nice. It gives you the name of switch. It gives you what VLAN tag is on there. which is, it was really handy setting all this up and getting it working. We do like the Cisco. I have a very positive review of that coming, and I've been shooting video at each time we've used it. I've posted a couple times I've posted about the use of it. So that'll be, now I actually have cameras and stuff in there. So you guys are getting attics. Yes, we got into the attic so we could run the cabling for what other thing I'm talking about today. Not wiring for, I don't care about, it's Cat 6, but I don't care about 10 gig because it's just cameras. And actually that's something kind of we'll segue right into, is I'm not doing a really long vlog today because I have a few things to go do. But one of the things is definitely you just don't need 10 gig to run to the cameras. We did run Cat 6 because that's what I have, but definitely not something truly necessary to run 10 gig to run 4K cameras. Yes, now this house, I think I've talked about this before, and I can share a little bit with you, gives people some background. We've lived here about a year now, and my friend built the house. So actually get that. So I have all the construction photos of the house and everything. And yeah, it's when they built it, it's built with modern construction. So like even here's the basement when they were pouring the basement and everything else. You can see it's a really big, deep basement. That's how tall the walls are. And you kind of get perspective right there. I mean, there's a bucket, and then the walls go up to here the way they were poured. So they built everything with a lot of extra space in it. So it makes it a lot easier, but it still sucks going in an attic. It's less than fun. I'm doing both Synology photos and Google Photos. So there's still some challenges, not so much with Synology photos, but with when people share something with you, I didn't take all those photos, but someone else was using Google Photos. So they share the album and you copy the album over to your side. So I'm kind of still using both. I haven't stopped using Google Photos, but I am using Synology photos. So it's not that I don't know that I can easily get rid of Google Photos. Synology Photos is nice, but it still isn't all the way Google. Google just has some really, really slick AI stuff that they have that is really hard to beat in their photos that it's going to take a while. So why did you wait to the fall instead of doing the summer or winter when I try to do stuff? It's either hot or cold. Yeah, you don't want to do it in the summer when you go in an attic. That's miserable. It's like super, not that Michigan's as hot as some of the southern states, but it's certainly much, much warmer than you want it to be in the attic when doing it. So definitely a pain. All the way from Australia. That's awesome. So welcome from Australia. Let's see. What do we have here? Let's see. The other thing is, let's talk about the surveillance station. Let's jump right into that. So that's ultimately the end of that, where that project was going. I'm going to pull that over here too. My attic is insulated. Yeah, units of measure. Look, this is what we do in America. We don't have great units of measure. So we just find arbitrary things. And it's like 7 buckets tall. Don't we measure everything in football fields here? Everything, some measure of football fields when you're measuring larger things. I don't know. Or Olympic swimming pools. That's another common reference. We don't want to use a metric system. We use arbitrary things that people have some perception of to say, this is how we measure the size of this. Always laugh when I see that. How many dislikes on this video? I wasn't paying attention. How many dislikes are on this video? Then, I think they're getting rid of likes. So go ahead and there's 170. So go ahead and smash some likes. So that'll help the dislike. I can't see the dislikes. Let me show you what I see. So if we go here, and we will stop share. Yeah, see, I can't see the dislikes. This is what I see. I see 44 likes on it, but I don't see the dislikes. They're actually going to start hiding the dislikes. So hello from Japan. Awesome. All Japan. I don't see a lot of people say they're from Japan on here, so that's really cool. Very awesome. Due to the occupation of Czechoslovakia by Soviet forces, we have until known as one forever. So one wacky measurement tool. Yep. And we have Willie. Welcome, Willie. 0 thumbs down. There we go. Fun stuff. You got 0 dislikes. Don't worry. I will get some dislikes. No matter what video I do, there are some haters on there. Yes, YouTube is going to hide the dislikes. It's a matter of time. I don't know when they're going to implement it. One of the things to think about when new features get added or moved or changed, they actually take a really long time to populate. So they don't necessarily change it all at once. They start doing it like regionally and going from there. So it's interesting. Let's see. I think we can share this though. Let's go ahead and share screen, Chrome tab. And what exciting things are going on at Tom's house. We're going to go ahead and share what. Hey, look. Actually, you can turn the volume down a little bit on that. This is, it's raining. I can actually hear the rain because this particular camera, the one in the middle, has this one has audio on my porch. But yeah, this is one of the things I've been doing is I'm testing out. These are not all the same cameras. There's a couple of varieties of cameras in here. And so I'm diving deep into the surveillance station. I'm going to cover a lot of the features they've added since my last video on it. So I'll be doing a deep dive. And yeah, it's raining here. This is live view. So this is what it's like right now in Michigan. Lots of rain. Not too much rain, but enough rain. You can see the stuff in my backyard. I don't know what that is. Huh. I guess it looks like a stick. It's probably a stick. But these are nice 4K Amcrest cameras. And hey, I see right away. What brand of cameras did you just install? I'm using a few different cameras on purpose, and I have one more on order. I went with a few Amcrest. I have one Reolink because I had it. Reolink, I think, is the ones we've had some problems with. I'm going to do some updates on that because I'm going to get. We still install a lot of Synology systems, but the Amcrest cameras are actually been really nice, and that's what these are right here. Now, this is all daytime, but let's actually go through the footage and talk about nighttime footage, and that's where things get really impressive with these cameras because the nighttime footage. And I think I have a snapshot. By the way, I'm doing this all over a VPN too. So oh, that's weird. Usually it loads right away. It must have a, there we go. So this right here is at night, all the lights out. This is one of those Amcrest cameras that support night color vision. So this is completely dark and it's 9:30 at night or 9:20 at night. My yard has no lights on it and it can see the color of the grass. So I am really impressed with some of these cameras. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do for part of the review. This particular camera is more expensive than the other ones because of the night color on it. But I'm really impressed with, I mean, you can clearly tell the colors of my son's shirt as he's looking at the camera. As I told him, poke his head out here, here's a camera. And at complete darkness that you can't really see very well, but it obviously can see the color. You can see that the red on my shirt. You can see the texture in the walls. You can see the brown leaves. You can see the green over here all the way out to the yard. So it's a really cool feature is the way it does that. So the camera does emit a very, not bright, a dim light. So it looks bright, but it's not. It's a very, it's something I'm going to try to figure out how to capture, but I'll probably use my phone and you'll see just how low light it is. It makes it look really bright, but you got to remember the light only covers this area. It's actually picking up ambient light out here in the yard. So I'll be diving into the details because these are, so one of the problems I found when trying to find camera reviews is there's people who stand around like, you know, you reviewers that hold the camera and talk about it for 20 minutes and give you 10 seconds of footage. I'm like, I want to put together a lot of footage you can look at from the cameras because, well, that's all you really care about. And yeah. One thing about the sizing, would a DS-119 be able to handle those cameras? That is not a question for me. Is beer involved in making of the stream? If not, why not? Because I'm still at work. When I do these from home, yes, that's one advantage of building a studio at home is beer at home. Anyways, the how many cameras it can handle. You go to Synology's website, they have their planner and they tell you what models and how many cameras they can handle. IPVM does a great job with cameras, but it's all paywalled. Thanks. Thanks for that, Willie. Let me cover that though. Let's pull up the timeline. Let's run through things. Spider webs, they sometimes will set it off because the spider was crawling around there. See, these are the night resolutions. Let me find one of the night ones here. There we go. They go to black and white at night. Come on. But it's still pretty viewable. You can still see what's back there and things like that. Oh, what Synology unit? This is a Synology RS1221. I think that's the model. Let me go in the control panel. I reviewed this unit before. I really like it. It works great. Control panel, info center. Yes, RS. This is the Synology RS1221 Plus. All right, go back over here. Wrong button. There we go. Now, last night, we had a cat get in the garage. Let me find the cat video. I think that was yesterday. Oh, we have a moth that really loves the camera. Where was the cat at? What time did we have a cat problem? That's when I got home. What time did the cat get in the garage? There we go. There's me and the wife coming back. By the way, this is I saw a ghost mode. Yes. Yeah, the color on this one, this is one of the Real Link cameras, but we had it at the office laying around. I was actually surprised how good this one looks. I mean, you can zoom in and see a lot of detail. You can see hey, guess what I'm getting? The paint supplies I needed to get out of the So it's yeah. But then when the cat snuck in, it's going to be down here somewhere. So where did the cat go? Probably right in here, maybe. Do you remember when we found the cat? There it is, just before this. I should probably set up a specific one for just the other camera. You know, I can just go to the recordings. Go to the recordings, search, camera. And we'll just say garage, inside garage. And where do we have that cat slide in and out of the garage? Was it? That's yesterday. Wasn't then. Then I came back. That's all today. When's this one? 11/11. I should probably filter for date too. So if we 11/11, we want 11/10. There we go. Nope, garage door's closed. Where did the cat go? It was only in there for a brief moment. Oh, that's me taking my son to school. Anyways, yes. Where do you buy your camera licenses for surveillance stations? So one of the things about getting the licenses, they are pretty affordable from Amazon. We are an authorized Synology dealer now, so we can, when we're doing our large scale purchases, we can buy them direct from Synology. There are other places you can buy them from online. I mean, everywhere sells them. If you're a vendor, you get a little bit better pricing. It's not night and day, but you get a better pricing if you're won't go through the trouble of being a reseller, meet minimum commitments and things like that. But if you're a home user, honestly, Amazon's probably one of the cheapest places you can buy them if you need them. I mean, but if you're doing a bulk purchase of them, right now, today, Brett was working on a sale of Synology camera system for a series of locations. Actually, one client has 17 separate locations. They want to buy Synologies. Each one of these locations is going to have like 15 or 16 cameras at them. That's like a bulk purchase, and we'll get a good discount on buying those to give the client a good deal when we want to set them up. So I do like the Synology system. It is really flexible overall too. The Synology MVR is the same as regular Synology. So one thing I haven't done is I want to review. They have their more in-depth AI one, and that one's really cool because that has the ability to do more analyzing of how the system sees different stuff. Because the one thing I haven't found with Synology, and I just want to double check before this is my perception of it right now, and I didn't find anything contrary in the documentation, but hey, if someone knows differently, let me know. You can use the object recognition and the person recognition in different camera systems, and the Synology can talk to that. So if we go to the camera and we go to the front yard driveway, we want the front porch camera. We're going to go ahead and edit this one. And I think it's under, event detection, I'm sorry. The advanced IVS here. All these cool features are in here, trigger event based on these. The thing that's missing from Synology is if I do an object missing, object abandoned, intrusion, tripwire, or a face detect event, and I configure the camera to trigger on that, Synology doesn't carry over the data of what was the event. Synology, the way you go into setting this up, so you go through and record settings, schedule. You call it a customized recording, but that's it. It just knows that the trigger events for that particular device was triggered, but not what triggered it. That's the one thing that they're missing. So the camera can support those features, trigger on those features, but it does not tell you what that was that it triggered on. At least I couldn't find any way to do that. So it still works pretty good. I'm really happy with it. But that is something worth noting that it doesn't do that. Now, let me try this because I got to figure out where these videos are stored. There's the driveway. All right. Does anyone know where to find it in here? Because I know where to find it on in the file station. What it's not showing me is I have the smart time lapse recordings going. The smart time lapse feature is really cool, and I plan to do a video specifically on this feature. What it will do is take and compress and build smart time lapses. The problem I've run into so far with smart time lapses is I don't know where you view them at all. So as cool as it is, where do you go see them? I know how to find them, like going through the file manager. I know exactly where it stores them. It just doesn't show up when you want to view them as an event, but it's still cool because I can view them. That's the one puzzle I still have. I'm overlooking something, I feel, because if I go to timeline and I want to create a filter event and let's say manage, let's just do a driveway. We want to do just a single camera driveway. Yep, got the right camera. Save, close, choose driveway, scroll through all the different driveway incidents. So here's all the different driveways. Here's my wife when she was leaving to go somewhere. And I have it on full-time recording. What I don't see is any way to specifically find the smart recording. If I do show all clips or show events only, here's only the events to jump to them. Hey, there's a wife showing back up in the Tesla. Yeah, she came and took the Tesla. I took the Tesla to work and she came and took it from me. So that's why she leaves in a truck and shows up in a Tesla. There's my wife. So it's here. Takes truck. Hey, there's my, I didn't know he's at my house. It's my son-in-law. But nonetheless, my point was, I don't see the smart lapse here. But let me show you what the smart lapse looks like. It's actually really cool. So pause, and we'll go ahead and switch because I think I have it downloaded already, and I can try a new feature. Let's see. The downloads. There's a feature I haven't tried. Let's go and try to upload a video. Share video file. Downloads, driveway. I don't know at all what's going to happen here. Oh, look, it uploads it. So it's playing this. This is how the smart lapse feature, it takes and condenses it, but anytime it triggers a motion event, it slows it down some. Then it goes back to being really fast. So yeah, it's kind of zipping around. It's a time compression system, and it's not well documented in Synology, but boy, is it a cool feature. And I don't know why they don't have better documentation, because this is really good for doing time lapse work. It will go through, and now that it's fully uploaded, I should be able to play it again. You can see whenever there's a motion event, it goes back to real time, your standard 15 frames a second that these are recording at. But then as soon as something's not triggering it, it goes back to playing it at much faster speed, as you can see, as everything going around there. So I just haven't figured out exactly, though, how to get it to show those inside of here besides, and let me do it this way. So stop, remove, then we got to share this file, share screen. If I go in the file station and then I go to surveillance and I go to time lapse driveway, hey, look, there's the time lapses that I don't know where they're at other than right here. So there's the file if I wanted to play it here. I just don't know how to get it to play through the auto playbacks. So I can download this if I want. Action, play, send as an email attachment, compress. Actually, we'll just go download it. But it's also, that's not too bad. It's going pretty fast over the VPN. I have a reasonably fast connection at home, so I would assume the camera had to allow smart detections. Now, if the camera doesn't have smart detections, this is something I will switch back over to the other screen. One thing, when the camera doesn't support it, the Synology does. So the cameras themselves, so if we go to a camera, and like the driveway camera doesn't have any smart detection function. So we're going to go here and edit, and we're going to edit the driveway camera. It's going slow because I'm downloading a 500 meg file that I'm going to upload here. When you go into the event detection, you can say by surveillance station. So you can still do your detection areas, which you can see, like, every time a car drives by, I don't want it going off, but you can set this all inside of Synology. So Synology can use dumb cameras and still have good recording. So yes, you don't have to have one that supports that specifically in order to get it to work. Yeah, I do recommend trying Synology. As cool as some of the UniFi stuff is, the UniFi is hard to get and doesn't scale necessarily, and it's also less flexible for people who need mass amounts of storage, archiving, and let me see if I can. All right, now we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna try to upload this, share video file. We're gonna upload this to here. All right, it's gonna take a second. Oh, it's streaming at real time. I'm going to pause and let it catch up a little bit. I'm going to overrun it here in a second. So what I'm doing when I upload this file, it's going to play the compressed version, but every time there's a oops. So, good news is stream didn't break. It just kind of stopped for a second. That happens. So I think we broke it. Let me try and upload that file again. Share video file. Let's try that again. Now it goes into real-time motion. Now it's going to, once the event detection is over, it's going to go into fast motion again. And let's see if it crashes the system. Now here we're to the next one. There's where the car showed up. Synology surveillance stations have a license, but it's a perpetual one-time fee per block of cameras you buy. So, I have 8 cameras. You buy an 8-camera license, and then that's it. And it transfers to if I buy another Synology, I can transfer licenses. So they have a perpetual license, not a recurring license model. So yes, they have it, but it's one-time fee for licensing. Yes, you get your first 2 licenses for free, and then you add your other licenses in after that. That's correct. Yeah, I'm glad it came and went. I crashed it by uploading this video, and now the last few seconds of this video, it'll go back to. Now that's just pretty cool how that works. So this is the Smart Lapse feature. I really like it. To me, this is just super neat to be able to see this, to watch everything play really fast, slow down when there's a trigger event, and then go back to really fast. So if you want to scrub through, I've actually got it programmed right now, and this is you get a lot of diversity in this option. It takes every 24 hours and breaks it down into a 6-minute video. So you can set it to say, I want 24 hours to equal 5 minutes, 50 minutes, you have different options. And then you have the more granular control to say, every time there's a trigger event, I also want it to give me real time and don't speed it up. Or you can just let it all get sped up and watch, everything like that. So it's a really cool feature of the way Synology works. Yeah, you can transfer licenses to a different model. This is actually one of the reasons Synology is kind of easy to grow. If you start with too small of a Synology, you buy too many cameras, you're like, I need a bigger one, but I already got licenses for this one. You can just you should be able to transfer them all on there. Do you have ones that can be used on a Wi-Fi bridge? I mean, any of them will work if you got a good Wi-Fi bridge. You should be able to work. But honestly, the Amcrest ones have worked pretty good. One of the things I want to point out here too, when you pull up, and I think I can pull it up in here. Can you pull up the resource monitor inside of here as well? Log. Smart search. They don't give me details, do they? Oh, here we go. So we'll go ahead and stop this. Remove. There's really not that much data. So with these cameras going and doing their thing right now, and let's even pull up the view here. So we'll go ahead and let's view the front yard. If you can see, I know it's kind of small on the screen here. I'm seeing all of about 5 megs coming from the cameras. And this is between all 7 of the cameras currently hooked up. So when you're asking about things like, how much data, you don't need a fast connection. These are 4K cameras. They just don't push that much data. We got, currently up to 6 megs of data coming from. So that's really not that much. Do you use the mobile app DSCam? Yes. And one cool thing is the Smart Lapse feature I was talking about. It's really easy to view on the phone. The phone has an option. When you open up DSCam, you can go to DSCam, you can go to Smart Lapse, and it has them all grouped. I just don't know where that's at inside of Synology. That's the only confusing part. Like, I don't know where it is inside a surveillance station, but it works and I can see it. So it works great on the phone. The phone app actually works really nice too. Yeah. Trying to download half gig files means I probably do need a faster connection here if I plan to keep doing that. So trying to run the system IO zone benchmark. I keep getting error test quit with non-zero exit status. That means a test can't run because it got too many variables. Variables, I mean, is too many different. If you get that error, it sometimes is. They try to narrow things down within a percentage, like the variations. They run like 3 cycles, and are those 3 cycles within 1% of each other? And that's the margin of error. If the margin of error is so wild, or the test doesn't complete in an expected amount of time, you get that error. Post in their forums about it, or try it on a different system, or try turning down things like that. What apps are you using on Surveillance Station? The only apps I really have installed is the Smart Lapse. They have a few other applications you can use, but I don't. Let me, where are they at here? You go to Application Center. You have an archiving. The CMS system is cool. Oh, crap. Close that. I was making full screen. There we go. Edge recording, if you want to save things to an SD card, if there's a problem. Visual Station is pretty cool. If you have one of those, we have clients that we've sold these for. They're kind of neat. They're a separate box. But if you have PTZ cameras, they do have a joystick option. They have IO options. If certain devices offer IO hookups, I've not really tested much of it. Access door controller. You can have it talk to an access door controller. What else do they have? You can download the Surveillance Station local software if you want to run this as a desktop application. We have a couple clients that like that. Transactions. This is for doing things like when you want to do it tied to like a register, so you can log the transactions at the same time. So it's pretty neat. Yeah, now this is kind of cool. I do like this. The live cam app is something I'm going to test because it's in there, and that's what it does. It lets you turn your phone, so you can take your phone and go, I want to use this as my camera. So I think that's a really cool. Yeah, timeline is pretty neat on desktop. My only challenge is I am not running Windows, and it's a Windows only program. So that's my challenge with running this on a desktop. So I mean, can I download it? Sure. This is, hey, you know what? I just learned something. Coming soon. Downloading Synology Surveillance Station client for Linux. Coming soon. So, but soon isn't today. So it's not available on Linux. Oh, such is life. CMS. Yeah, they got the central management system as well. So that's interesting. I didn't know that LiveCam didn't need to have a license. Huh. It's on my to-do list to start playing with that because it's one more thing to go test. So, like I said, my overall, I'm happy with it. But the minor exception being, of course, the fact that I don't know where it stores those recordings for the Smart Lapse. It feels like they would be in here, but I don't see them anywhere. It's just not in here anywhere. Not that I can find. Is it under Smart Search? Oh, that's part of the. I can open up Smart Lapse. I just doesn't enabled, delete. Oh, here they are. Now they're showing up under recordings. It just took time. They weren't showing up here before. So cool. Neat. I've answered the question. I solved it right here live. If you speak with Synology, let them know it'd be great not to have a critical warning when using non-Synology drives. Why does it have a critical warning? I've not seen that problem. Does it give a persistent critical error, or I've not seen that happen? We've plugged in some non-standard drives in them, and I know it doesn't have all the features, but it worked. So, I know with all the hard drive shenanigans, there's a big push for a huge push, I should say, for them to get certified hard drives. People think it's a money grab, but the bait and switch problem that the hard drive manufacturers have been doing has been a pain for not just Synology. I talked to the engineers at other companies that build storage servers, and they're like, yeah, we need to, when we're trying to troubleshoot a problem, we don't need added problems coming from, the drive manufacturers doing something that's out of spec that they claimed was in spec when we tested it. Oh, cool. So you passed the Cisco CCNA. Congratulations. That is awesome. I'm happy you passed that. That's a good step on the road to network engineering. That is awesome. Even though I'm not a Cisco person, still there's a lot of the knowledge Cisco brings you is still networking knowledge. So some of it, there's the networking knowledge Cisco brings, or some of the nuance of Cisco, but either way, it's great skill set to have to be able to know and pass that. So good job and congratulations there. Oh, and thank you for the $10 super chat. Very, very much. Thank you very much, Grayson. You passed your course for National Institute from the Blind Cisco Academy. Oh, very cool. Well, I'm going to wind this down in about 10 minutes. Is there any surveillance station related questions? I don't think I have any more of those. I am interested. I didn't know that the live one doesn't use a license, but I'm gonna play with that. I actually have an extra phone. I might just leave it on and wander around and use it for stuff. So let's see. Someone text me. Who texts me? Gotta look at stuff. I got my kids doing things. All right. What other questions might we have? I don't think anything else. When will H.265 support coming to Synology? I thought it supported now. I thought that's actually something Synology supports. .265. Yeah, it's in the release notes that they support it. So I thought Synology did support H.265. Yeah, that's my thoughts too. Currently using Amcrest cameras. I'm going to do a video break down the details of exactly which ones I'm using. LiveCam does need licenses to use. Oh, okay. I thought you said, maybe I misheard you and thought you said it did not. So it does require it. Okay. How much cost spend you lets you say you buy the CCT camera and that license? I'll put some costing together. I can show you the cameras I ordered. So if we go to, I'll switch screens here in a second. So remove, share screen. I'm just going to do a whole window, entire screen. So this is the night color camera that I have. Is this one Amcrest night color? Does it have a model number? You know what? It's not on here, and I have to. Can I find? I don't know where the model number is. Only on the box. It's not on the. It's not on the description here. It's on the box that came in, but it's not in the stupid Amazon order. So I'm going to actually write down what model number cameras each of these are. That way you have a better idea of when. That's going to be a separate video that I'll put together soon with a list on there of the exact cameras we're using for each one. Let's see. Yep, I'm using Amcrest cameras. Dash cam. I've not tried any dash cams or anything like that. I have no. So Synology has a compatibility list. You can look up which cameras work with it. They have a long list on their site. And as long as the camera, if it's not on the list, if it supports the OV-INF format, like the standardization for cameras, it'll work. Well, should work. I can't absolutely guarantee it. It's a maybe at that point. So nothing you can really do to mitigate shadows. Some things are going to set the camera off. Turns out leaves blowing. We're setting mine off today because it was windy today. Almost all the cameras are made by Dahua or Hikvision at the end of the day. It's just rebranding and firmware tweaks. Yes, that's very true. Matter of fact, someone today asked us about, the, what is that called? The spec for the cameras that they can't be, like the fact that they banned Hikvision and banned Dahua. Everyone says they want those up until they find out what the price difference is to go with an Axis camera. Axis cameras are great. Don't get me wrong. They make a really solid camera, but yeah, It's just a substantial price difference when you go to some of those cameras. Yeah, the ONVIF supports so long as IP cam or cam system supports ONVIF, NCR will connect and work. I haven't found that not to be true at all. So any camera I've tested that isn't technically my night color one isn't a matching model. I believe the night color one is set to, and let me put that back over to the other one. So if we go over to that Amcrest camera, that's my front porch. Yeah, it's set to generic Amcrest and it works fine. Because this one specifically wasn't listed. So it worked there. And what you do is you hit load capability and it pulls, it talks to the camera and figures out what all the features are for that particular camera. So even when a model isn't listed in Synology, load capability, and if it supports the ONVIF format, you're good. Well, you should be. I haven't found one that didn't work. So not to say you're never going to find one. Yeah, I have like I said, this particular one I can throw up in my links. If I go to, I have a link for these things here. Where are they at? Yeah, here's the ones I have. Let me drop this link in here. The link I just dropped, if you go kit.co.lawrencesystems is kit.co/lawrencesystems. You'll get my list of all my kit stuff. And I have a bunch of Synology things in there. These are cameras we've used, and all those, the Amcrest ones I think are great. I'm using them. They work great. So, spiders and moths love cameras. And yeah, I don't know what to do about that either. So do I find them better than UniFi cameras? The UniFi stuff is really nice, but you're very locked into UniFi's environment, and that can be good or bad. UniFi's got a beautiful interface. It's easy to use. If I'm going to hand it off to an end user, I think the UniFi one is one of the easiest things for me to set up and hand off to end users. If they have advanced capabilities they need that are beyond what UniFi can do, like that Time Lapse feature and things like that, they have the timeline feature stuff that's similar inside of UniFi. UniFi, I don't think it's a bad system. We sell quite a few of them. Our big challenge right now with UniFi is availability of cameras, limited availability, limited quantities all the time. And you can only use UniFi cameras with it. So it's a very closed ecosystem with UniFi. I don't think it's a bad system. It's just not a broad system. Access to Toshiba are expensive, middle of the road, but not Hikvision or Dahua would be D-Link. Yeah, those are okay. I haven't tried too many of the D-Link cameras, but they're probably an okay middle. Yeah, so D-Link is. I'm not sure. You know what I actually think? I can't remember if I've actually seen any D-Link cameras in the wild. Maybe I'll look for one. Yeah, Reolink are often cited as an alternative. The Reolink ones seem very much like the other models. I don't see them as that much different. So someone is working on a proxy to use non-UniFi cameras. I'm sure that UniFi will probably. It's a hacky way to do it. So I don't know. Yes, PTZ cameras are cool with Synology. If you look in my YouTube channel, I have a demo I did with Synology and with PTZ cameras. They work fine. I've never bought the joystick. I think that'd be kind of cool to play with. I just use the software controls, but it has patrol options. It has different angles you can do. So it is supported in Synology, provided it's a supported model. But they have a pretty big, wide support model list. Let's see. Matter of fact, if you go here to, and we'll share this out. Whoops. There we go. One of the things you can do is go look for the thing you're looking for. What do you want the camera to be able to do? Fixed lens, removable lens, thermal, generic video server, intercom. Have this function. You want pan, tilt, zoom. All right. Start recommending. And you can start narrowing these down to the ones they have that have support for here. So you know that this one supported, this model supported, and you can start looking up each one that you want to see if it's supported on there. So not hard to do in here. Or you can also search at the top if you have already an existing camera and you want to know if it's supported. The surveillance station support list is great. It's easy to dig through things and figure out what's on there. So I haven't looked if there's any doorbell cameras, but if you looked for actually, this would probably work. So I'm looking on Amazon. All they did was search for these. I haven't tried any of them, but OMVIF doorbells. I searched that on Amazon and some came up. So I imagine Amcrest makes one. So does this support OMVIF or is it just ONVI? Oh, this one doesn't say so. I don't know if there's, you'd have to find if doorbell supported. I don't care about a doorbell camera, but if people do, I haven't looked much into it. So what's your go-to camera? Dome, bullet, PTZ? It all depends on the client and the scenario. We've sold them all over the place at a variety. So it depends on what the client needs. It's not like I have a go-to. I have a what do you need, and we figure out what goes where. Yes, some non-OMVIF cameras can use RTSP. That seems to take up way more data and doesn't work as well, but it's a way you can make things work. Matter of fact, I've had people tell me, I never tried this, but you can use RTSP out of a UniFi camera and then feed it into a Synology. So if you wanted to do that, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I guess if you just needed to do it because you had one. So one of these days, you'll have to buy some hot sauces and cover the shipping to you. Amazon won't ship half the stuff from your site. Oh. All right. Well, I'm going to wind this down. I think I've answered as many questions as I probably really know about for the Synology surveillance station. I'll be doing a video on it to cover these. I've covered it before. I've got a tutorial video on surveillance station already. It does everything it did in that video. I can't think of anything. They didn't take out any features, I don't think. But they've added a lot more. The smart feature, I don't think I covered that at all. I don't remember if that was available when I did the video. If it was, I wasn't familiar with it. So the smart detection, really cool. And the smart time lapse is really cool. But I will dive into some of the other features that it has on there. Is it possible to disable external access or via USB, HDMI, or other external connection? You can lock the console on it. So yes, you're not really disabling it, you're locking it. But there's a lock option in there. Yeah, I'm excited to do the video. It's going to be a lot to dive into. I've been playing with it a lot, so I have all the notes, all the features. Then I'm going to have a bunch of recordings and when I'm going to separate the camera reviews. I'll do the surveillance station review, and then I'll do the camera reviews. But the camera reviews are going to be pretty short, but there's going to be a lot of footage on them because that's my goal, is to share the footage. What does it look like during the day? What does it look like during the night? How does this camera actually perform versus, some people spend too much time talking about the camera itself, and it's like, yeah. I'm also I'll talk about some of the pros and cons. Like, one downside of the cheaper cameras versus the more expensive ones, the mounting is not as nice with the bullet cameras. I thought with the Amcrest, it's usable. It just makes it a little bit, once you mount it, it's mounted. It's not easy to turn it around in different ways. So, but there's little details I'll cover like that, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the physical dimensions of it. It's more, really comes down to, do they work? How many watts do they pull? And what do they look like in a day? What do they look like in at night? And let's do some distance measuring to how far away are you standing? We'll grab some snapshots and see. Maybe I'll get the eye chart thing and hold it and can confirm just how good the camera is or is not. But one thing, like I said, I'm impressed with is how good the night vision is on that night sight one. And that one's only like $179. So that one for me, for $179, being able to have color night vision was pretty impressive. The downside is color night vision seems to sacrifice, at least in that price point, being 4K, but it's a porch camera, so you're so close to it, and it's a 2K resolution, I think, so it's not bad, and that's plenty of resolution to see what's going on, so not too bad. But I'll get into those details in the video. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for hitting the like button, and wow, there's 128 of you here. That is awesome. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.